All right, today we're diving into a really critical piece of infrastructure for pretty much any AI application, the AI gateway. You'll hear it called the missing layer between your app and a large language model, and that's a perfect description. We're going to break down what it is, and maybe more importantly, why you should care.
Okay, so let's set the scene. Imagine you've just launched your amazing new AI app. It's live, it's in production, users are loving it, everything seems perfect. But, behind the curtain, there might be a storm brewing. So you have to ask yourself, what could possibly go wrong? Well, it turns out, a lot.
Yeah, running LLMs in the real world comes with a whole new set of production nightmares. We're talking about runaway token costs that can just silently obliterate your budget, or sensitive user data, PII, accidentally leaking into a third-party model. And then there's the big one, a single provider outage taking your entire service offline. It's a really high-stakes game.
And look, this is not a drill. This isn't theoretical. This quote from Kong just nails it. An unoptimized endpoint can burn through thousands of dollars in minutes. That's not hyperbole. It's just the new, slightly terrifying reality that we're all dealing with.
So, what's your first instinct? Probably to reach for a tool you already know and trust, a traditional API gateway. But this is a classic case of bringing an old tool to a brand new kind of job. And honestly, the results, they can be pretty disastrous. Let's dig into why.
I mean, we all know the good old API gateway, right? For years, it's been the absolute workhorse for managing our microservices, handling all the routing, authentication, and basic rate limiting. It's fantastic for standard web apps.
But here's the massive catch. These gateways were never built for the weird, unique world of AI. To them, a tiny 50-token prompt and a gigantic 10,000-token document summary look exactly the same. It's just one request. They have no idea about the massive cost difference, and they definitely can't understand the meaning of a query, which, as you'll see, is a total deal breaker.
This table really lays it all out. Let's just hit the highlights because they're so important. Look at rate limiting. The old way is counting requests. The new way, it's all about counting tokens, the thing you actually pay for. Or check out caching. You go from caching exact word-for-word matches to understanding semantic meaning. And security? We're graduating from basic authentication to content-aware defense against things like prompt injection. It's a whole different world.
So if the old tool is broken, what's the fix? Well, you need a purpose-built control plane, something designed from the ground up specifically for this new AI era. So let's meet the AI gateway. At its core, an AI gateway is this incredibly smart, specialized middleware layer. I love this description. Think of it like your traditional API gateway went on a Rocky-style training montage and came back with a whole set of AI-native superpowers designed to fix all the problems we just talked about.
And this diagram here, it shows you exactly where it lives, right in the middle, sitting between your app and all the different LLM providers out there. It becomes this central hub, this control plane for everything, routing, caching, security, logging. It really is the missing layer you need for any serious AI app.
Okay, now for the fun part. Let's actually talk about these so-called AI-native superpowers. And these aren't just minor little features. These are genuinely transformative capabilities that frankly make building a robust, production-ready AI application possible in the first place. First up, superpower number 1, intelligent model routing. So instead of just blindly sending every single query to your most powerful, most expensive model, the gateway acts like a smart traffic cop. A simple little summarization task, that goes to a fast, cheap model. A super complex coding question, okay, that one gets routed to the specialized powerhouse. This is an absolute game changer for balancing cost and quality.
And the impact here is just staggering. I mean, up to 70% cost reduction. How is that even possible? Well, think about it. That simple question might cost you a penny on a premium model, but only a tenth of a cent on a smaller, faster one. The gateway makes that perfect choice thousands of times a day. That's not a small optimization. That's a fundamental change that can determine if your product is even financially viable.
The next superpower is all about the economics. We said it before, but it's crucial. Traditional systems count requests. AI gateways count what actually matters, tokens. This means you can finally set up smart budgets. Maybe your free users get 10,000 tokens a day, while your enterprise customers get 10 million. This is the only real way to stop those budgets from spiraling out of control. Okay, this is where it starts to feel a little bit like magic. Semantic caching. The gateway understands that what is the capital of France and tell me France's capital city mean the exact same thing. It's not just matching words.
It basically turns the question into a meaning fingerprint. And if it finds a similar fingerprint in its cache, bam, it just serves up the answer instantly, slashing your costs and latency.
You know, security in the AI world is a whole different beast. An AI gateway gives you these specialized guardrails. It can defend against prompt injection attacks, and, this is huge, it can automatically find and redact sensitive info before it ever leaves your system. Plus, it scans both the prompts and the model's responses to make sure everything is safe and compliant.
So what happens when your main LLM provider has an outage? Well, without a gateway, your app goes down too. Simple as that. With an AI gateway, it acts as a circuit breaker. It detects the failure and instantly, automatically, reroutes all the traffic to your backup provider. Your users, they never even know anything was wrong.
And finally, as the old saying goes, you can't optimize what you can't see. An AI gateway gives you this deep, beautiful observability into the metrics that actually matter for AI. Token usage, cost per user, latency for each model, error rates. This is the data you need to make smart decisions and really dial in your application's performance.
Okay, this all sounds pretty powerful. I get it. But you're probably asking, does everyone need one on day one? That's a great question. So let's get practical with an actionable checklist to help you figure out when it's the right time.
Here's just a simple gut check. If you find yourself nodding your head to any of these, it's probably time to start looking seriously at an AI gateway. If you're using more than one LLM provider, it's almost a must. If multiple teams need to share access in a controlled way, yep. And that last one, if you have ever been burned by a provider outage, you already know exactly why this is so important.
We can also think about this in terms of key triggers. As you can see, as your complexity, your scale, and your costs go up, the need for a gateway just becomes more and more obvious. Once you're dealing with multiple models, or your token count crosses, say, 1 million per month, the ROI on a gateway becomes an absolute no-brainer.
So here's the big takeaway. You don't need to over-engineer your app from the very beginning. Start simple. But the very moment you find yourself starting to worry about your LLM costs or stressing about provider reliability or getting nervous about security, that's it. That's your sign. That's when it's time to get an AI gateway.
And that really leaves us with this one big final thought. You know, AI is rapidly moving from being a cool feature to being critical business infrastructure. And critical infrastructure needs a proper control plane. So the question is no longer if we need this layer, but rather, is the AI gateway becoming the new, non-negotiable, essential control plane for any enterprise that's serious about AI?